Hello and welcome to the Classic Gamers Guild podcast. Our topic today will be adapting video games into other things. So Paul, which video games did you choose to adapt into what?
All right, I've got quite a lengthy list here. So what I got to start with is movies. Basically, I'm going to kind of try and break them down for you in categories. The first thing I've got is just an honorable mention, which is Monkey Island. And I wanted to mention that because Monkey Island's got a lot related to Pirates of the Caribbean. And what I'm going to do is put a link to a PDF in the comment section so you can check it out, because somebody broke it down with images. Images are great. They're my favorite kind of books when there's more pictures than words. So you can actually see like direct things that were lifted from Monkey Island to put into Pirates of the Caribbean, such as using a casket as a boat, etc. So just a quick shout out to that. There's no hate or jealousy for them not naming it Monkey Island. Ron Gilbert himself said he took inspiration from the Disney ride Pirates of the Caribbean. So can't really say that they lifted it when Ron's saying that he took inspiration from that to begin with.
You know what? And basically, sorry, just to cut you off for a second, I actually approve of that too. It's sort of like, yeah, I know it's basically Monkey Island with something else, but that they did what they had to do just to get it done. I'm glad that we just got it at all.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. And I get why they use the name because of the Disney ride. It's a Disney film. The only gripe I have, that being said, so here comes me contradicting myself, is Monkey Island is a cooler name. Something about that name. It's just, I feel like it's a bit fascinating. So what I did here is I picked a game for each movie genre. Not a lot of genres, but the best I could come up with in my wee little brain box. And what I've got for a comedy movie, trying to approach this like the Academy Awards or something, and for best comedy.
For best video game to be chosen for a comedy adaptation.
Well, so to kick Kevin Hart off of this podcast is ironically... that's not going to age well. Anyway, so for comedy, I've got Day of the Tentacle. I'd like to see Day of the Tentacle adapted into a comedic movie, is what I'm saying. Sorry to spell it out. I'm not trying to talk down to you. I'm just naturally confused. I confuse myself. Day of the Tentacle, I just think that would make a really good movie, whether it was completely CGI or a hybrid, doesn't matter. I'd love to see Purple Tentacle in a whole lot on the big screen. Think that would go down really well. And if it didn't, then they could just put it on cable or something. So yeah, Day of the Tentacle, make it a comedy movie. Any directors, big Hollywood people out there, get right on it.
Who would you cast for Bernard?
I think he's out of the game, but I would first gut instinct is Rick Moranis.
Oh yeah, actually that would, yeah, he is a little bit, if we were dream casting and able to go back in time, then he would be a very good choice. But I don't know who would actually really be a good spot for it right now.
It's hard. It's like music. Like, unattractive people ain't allowed to make music no more.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, actors nowadays. Like there's no like standout nerd that shows it anyway. So yeah, no, it's hard to think of. So yeah, I'll stick with Rick Moranis. Maybe John Hughes could direct it and just give us the whole nostalgic punch to the gut.
I was going to say maybe the actor who plays McLovin in Superbad, but that movie's probably like 10 years old now or something, isn't it? Like, he's probably not even that young anymore.
That's a good point, but he's still probably a good 20 years younger than Moranis. For my next choice, I've got comedy sci-fi. All right, you're thinking like that's a bit cheap, mate. You just did a comedy. Day of the Tentacle is a bit sci-fi. And the reason I'm saying this all out loud is because I'm just realizing now that I'd done a kind of done a stupid thing once again. But again, I'm not the resident intellectual if I haven't made that clear enough. So expect nothing from me, and you will not be disappointed. So for comedy sci-fi, I've got Space Quest. I'd love to see a Space Quest movie series, even if it was like a Netflix kind of binge, a few episodes thing, because I feel like the storyline's quite linear. You could really go from 1 through 6 pretty smoothly. Like they all basically tie in together. Maybe cut out two. I'm not hating on it, but that's the one that's like a little out of place in my opinion. And of course, somebody, Josh Mandel, them lot would probably have to step forward and give us a script for Space Quest 7, because we were left with a bit of a cliffhanger at the end of that one. Everyone needs closure, right? So Space Quest, I think that'd be an awesome movie. Besides like Spaceballs, and something clever that Rick will probably come up with, I can't think of another like true comedy sci-fi movie.
Not movie, but a series.
Yeah, series. Can you think of any?
Yeah, Red Dwarf.
Damn it, that's what I'm talking about, right? Yeah.
It's long running too. I don't know if I wouldn't doubt if it's still going because they keep resurrecting it after many years of hiatus between each seasons. But it's been pretty long running. Like it was already full swing when I was a teenager. I remember being quite young, and they're already in season 5 or 6 or something like that, which is huge for a British comedy. Because those things usually only last like a couple of seasons. Like they are very finite. They have specific story arcs and end. And it actually was very surprising to me to see Red Dwarf just keep going on and on and on. Because normally, most Britcoms especially don't do that. But it's great. You should look it up. Definitely reminiscent of Space Quest in a lot of ways, in the humor, in a lot of like just sort of. You really should just see it because I think that will really kind of scratch a lot of your itch. They could still do Space Quest. Just because there's one that already exists doesn't mean that they are not allowed to do any more. Space Quest, there's definitely a place for that. I think a movie would be awesome, or even, yeah, you're right, maybe like a series, Netflix series or something like that. If I think my ideal... Off the top of my head, I can't imagine any better than if it was directed by Edgar Wright and starring Simon Pegg.
Nailed it.
But I think that alone justifies bringing back something that's Red Dwarf-esque just for the sake of seeing that happen.
Yeah, you absolutely nailed it. And after the podcast, we're going to have to chat about that little, you don't see many British things like that. I feel like that was a personal attack, mate. I'm kidding. You're dead right. And
actually, you know what? That wouldn't be an attack because I actually appreciate that. I like the fact that a lot of British series, especially British comedies, I know that there are long-running British series. Don't get me wrong, but British comedies, I just like how the British aren't afraid to just like go 3 seasons and end, and just be happy with that, and just not outstay their welcome. Just do that. I think more American shows, from a quality perspective, should try doing that more often. Even though I know, American, they just want to, as long as something's popular, they're just going to keep running it until it stops making them money, which is fine, which is valid. If it keeps bringing people in and keeps giving people entertainment, go for it. That's fine. But I just also like how Britcoms will just end. That's fine too.
This one was tough for me. I'm kind of split between two. I put down Phantasmagoria, but first of all, it would have to be like a blatant kind of B movie, and second of all, the game itself is a FMV game, so it's already given us a visual of what it would be like in live action. So I kind of sort of scrapped it, even though I just said it, and went with Sanitarium because it's actually a really cool story. I mean, going through these different kind of layers, these different places in his mind, these different worlds, each one, more twisted than the next, and going deep inside someone's psyche. It was genuinely seemed to me like it would have some substance to it as if it was made into a movie.
I have no comments to contribute here based on the fact that I've never actually played that game. I kind of phased out through the whole FMV era, so that's those are dark waters that I cannot see into.
Yeah, I like FMV for its quirkiness, but it's one of the harder genres to revisit nowadays, just because it is just the giant B movies basically, and if you like that kind of thing, then it's great. But anyway,
I think if I had to choose a video game to make into a horror movie, I would say Alien Isolation, and then just watch Alien again. but not even like get it adapted, just go backwards and watch Alien again. That's all I would do. Like, there you go. I got my adaptation of Alien Isolation. That's perfect.
It's just leave that whole isolation bit out of the title, and we're done. It's already made. I hear it's quite successful. Uh,
Oh, it's a great game. One of my favorite movies of all time, for sure.
yeah, no, it's a good little universe itself too. Although we could go down a rabbit hole as far as
Yeah,
discussing what
that's a
happened in the
whole
movies.
episode in and of itself.
Yeah, exactly.
And just
All right.
my end of it. I can monologue for an episode on Alien.
Yeah, okay, if we want to, you'll know we're wasting your time when I ask one day, Rick, what's your thoughts on Prometheus? Then you'll know that we're just wasting your time. So let's see. For the next one, the next category, I've got murder mystery.
Gee, I wonder where this is going.
I'm gonna fake left and go right on you. I think.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Right.
I did originally have Colonel's Bequest on there. If that what you're thinking, I'm not sure. I crossed that off. Okay, because it was a bit similar to Clue and all that. So I crossed that off. And I went with Thimbleweed Park.
Oh, okay. That did take a curve.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
I was full on expecting Dagger of Amun-Ra.
Ah, yeah. Like I said, fake left, go right, like on the feet.
That was well done.
and your O was so genuine.
It was. I'm generally, like, even though Thimbleweed Park is a game that you bring up every single episode, it did genuinely in this context catch me by surprise.
So I got to make a little note. Give one episode break from mentioning that game. All right.
Oh, you can do that as soon as I ever take a break from talking about Loom.
Oh, but I love Loom. Don't stop talking about it. Plus, when you speak of it, you talk like a book. I love it.
I don't even know what that means.
It's just romantic. It's like you're slowly playing the piano and I'm laying on top of it.
Anyways, let's move on.
I don't know. You seem pretty uncomfortable. It makes me want to stay on subject. But all right. So Thimbleweed Park. I'm wearing a lot of lace. Anyway, all right. So
why is this still going?
I love it. All right, I had to get one more squirm out of you. Thimbleweed Park, without any spoilers, it's. I said this as soon as I was done. I backed it really heavily. I had really high hopes, and it's really rare in life when you build something up like a band you love and they put out the first album and it's just fucking amazing and every song's great and the second album you can't help but have these unrealistically high expectations, and it's really rare when anything music back to games has that delivers. When you back something, Ron Gilbert, all the boys in the band getting back together to make this game, my expectations were through the roof, and yet somehow it still exceeded them. Hence mentioning every episode. I probably ranted the same rant before too, sorry. But that being said, the first thing I said afterwards, after playing it, and when I say said, I mean to myself, I'm lonely, mate. I'm really lonely. Was that it was a really cinematic script. Like it really genuinely was so well thought out. Again, no spoilers. I'll just say that there's a twist ending that's brilliant. And just so yeah. Anyway, all the way through, it's got the right diversity of characters. It's got the twists. It's just a brilliant actual script. So yeah, there we go. So there's Thimbleweed Park for that one.
I hope a good portion of the movie is that every time they go into a new location, they'll look around for a speck of dust.
Oh, that'd be brilliant. Yeah, yeah.
What I also think would be great if ambitious, but I think that, if you're a filmmaker, you really should be ambitious. I think they should actually keep in censoring all of Ransom the Clown's dialogue.
I was just going to say that. I was literally just going to say, and my thing would be, please keep the beeps in, the bleeps in, whatever. It makes it funnier for some reason.
Yeah, and if not bleeping, I think that at the very least they should find, like, in-universe ways to always kind of throw in some sort of a sound that obscures his constant swearing.
Right, yeah, exactly. Like just coincidental sounds constantly happening.
Yeah.
Loud crash and bangs, whatever. Yeah, that's beautiful. God, yeah. I wish someone from Hollywood was listening. So does Ron Gilbert, I'm sure. But All right, so there's my murder mystery. For my B movie, gotta have a typical B movie. And when I say that, like, it's not like they go into the film hoping it's going to be great. Like, go into it saying this is going to be a cheesy B movie. Like all them Wayans brother ones and whatever. For my B movie, it's going to be Leisure Suit Larry.
For a B movie.
For a B movie, just
Okay.
because it's kind of over the top raunchy. There's a lot of puns. It just seems like a really good setting to say, like, almost like that movie Airplane, where it's like, we're not I'm not calling that a B movie, of course, it's a cult classic, but still just that same kind of vibe where, like, we know it's a bit cheesy. We know, at times it can be a little even outdated, but we're gonna just kind of force it to work, or at least force it on you. Yeah, and I guess maybe that raunchiness too kind of adds to it. B movies always seem to have an excess of scantily clad women and things like this, so I feel like that kind of fits the B movie genre. Let me ask you, who would play Larry?
These days, I don't know, to be perfectly honest. I've actually thought about this, and there's a handful of actors I could dig back into the past, but if it was to be made now, I'm not familiar with the current stable of actors that I can think of would be like, oh, hey, that would be a perfect Larry.
Yeah, I can't either. That's why I put you on the spot. But yes, I guess we've got nothing.
Just go with some unknown guy. Why not?
Yeah, take a chance on him, Hollywood. Give him a go. Or just like throw a complete curveball and go Brad Pitt and be like, why is he being rejected all the time? I don't understand.
Actually, you know what? Maybe you're onto something. Wouldn't that be kind of an interesting take? Just for a movie, like, say Leisure Suit Larry, but even if it's not, but just imagine if it's like this good-looking guy who's just so clueless and uncharismatic that he just like blows every chance he gets.
That would be a really good take on it, where it's like, God gave you, everything you need visually to achieve whatever you want to with ladies or whatever you're into, and have him just muck it up every turn he gets by opening his mouth.
And it's always like, it's not even like circumstantial. It's like really just he is like this, well-intentioned, but pretty, I don't know if douchey is the right word. I know it's not, but just like this guy who's just so awkward. It's actually kind of like a cute thing these days, but I don't know, just a guy who just fumbles every ball that's handed to him.
Right, like all he's got to do is keep his mouth shut, but he doesn't. Yeah, no, you're right. That would be lovely to see. All right, so we got it. Bradolph Pitler, you're doing it.
Oh God, what?
I heard.
What the hell was that?
I actually love Brad Pitt, so there's no hate there. It's not coming from some, deep down Jew thing.
Where did that even come from? Well...
I was in Venice, Italy, and this Italian guy was like you just missed him. Bradolph Pitler was just here, and I'm like, did he just?
Are you serious? Is that true?
Yeah, I swear to God, yeah. He's like, Bradolph Pitler was just here. Yeah, but it sounded a little bit more like Mario. God, I'm so sorry. I am.
Wow.
Okay. Speaking of, all he has to do is keep his mouth shut, but doesn't. Here I am.
Okay.
So everybody out there, take it home with you. Use it on your mates later tonight. You'll get a laugh. Maybe I did. It worked on Rick. All right. So let me move along. So that
move along while I just keep laughing. Just keep going. Just don't mind me.
I mean, he would be like Hitler's dream, right? With blue eyes, with blonde hair.
Just stop. Just move on.
All right. Fair enough. Plus, I do gotta get through a bunch more so you can actually speak and
No, this is gonna be a two-parter. I decided now. There's no way this is one episode. If for the fact that I'm just not even going to recover laughing until the end anyway, so. All right, so on this week's episode is Paul's picks. Continue, please.
All right, so
apparently we're comparing Brad Pitt to Hitler.
I'm just saying,
how
it's
did we
like
get to this point?
This got to be like his dream baby, right? That's like the ideal. Anyway, all right. Anyway, He
What
gets off.
has Brad Pitt done to you?
And that's the thing. He ain't done nothing. I actually love like all his movies. Like as a guy, you're supposed to not like the super hot guy. I love Brad Pitt. I love all his movies. You know, done like 12 Monkeys and
Oh,
Seven
he's
and
great. Yes,
and and
I
and,
agree. He's great. I like Brad
and,
Pitt
and,
quite a bit.
and then Inglorious Bastards, where he actually kills Nazis. It can't be any more redemptuous than that. But there's just this little bit of irony where it's like, I mean, if Hitler was to describe his dream-looking race, he'd probably be like, "Hey, that guy with the blonde hair and the blue eyes and chiseled, godlike face." Um,
Oh
so
man.
anyway, enough about Hitler.
Yes, please.
You know me with my transitions. TV series next. I've got a couple for the television series. The first one I've got is Gabriel Knight. I was going to put that as a movie, specifically Sins of the Forefathers. Oh,
I have a question for you.
please.
Throughout your entire life, which has spanned several decades now, have you played more than 10 games?
I have
Okay.
strictly adventure, usually pixel art. Problem is that I've got this like, a goldfish kind of memory, so I keep going back to these.
You know what? I make fun, but I look at my list and realize that um, they're almost all games that I've mentioned time and time again as well. So I just hypocrited myself.
No, that's not true, mate. You've got diversity. You've got Ultima 1, Ultima 2,
No,
Ultima
I
3.
didn't even play those ones. I played fewer than the entire series. Don't get me wrong.
um, all right. So, and I just got I got that goldfish memory. I can only remember like the last Baker's Dozen that I played. Is that a saying, Baker's Dozen? Right? Like
Yes,
it's
but
like
I've never actually understood what it meant.
I don't either. It's 13, right? Maybe like he made one for himself or something.
Is it? I have no idea. I honestly don't. Somebody please enlighten us.
Yeah, hit the comment
Because I
section,
really
please.
do not. I'm very interested to know, but not nearly enough to put the effort into Googling it.
Yeah, no, that's you got to type like 13 different letters and
Mm-hmm.
spacebar and all that. Yeah. But somebody in the comments we got to have a baker amongst us. Please let us know. And if my guess is correct, do let me know if you eat that 13th one. All right. So Gabriel and I was sins of the foreskin. Jesus Christ. Sins of the fathers. I'm sorry. Earlier I said sins of the forefathers by accident, and I tried to correct myself, and I made it worse. Never mind that. What I'm trying to say is that would have been my pick for a movie, but then I started thinking that he would be, Christ, an interesting enough character to have kind of a weekly go at it, basically. I'd tune in like, oh, what's Gabriel up to this week? Oh, look at that. Oh, this is bananas. He's always up to tomfoolery. So yeah, Gabriel and I feel like would be a pretty cool show. Moving on from that debacle, I've got the Blackwell series. I think that would be a good TV series.
Yep, absolutely.
It's one of them things where while the games were somewhat linear, by the way, I'm not sure if I use that word correctly. I just feel smarter when I use it. But
Yeah, they're linear.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, I was super insecure right after I said it. I'm like, why are you saying words you don't understand? But anyway, it's the games were quite linear, but at the same time, you could have a new case each week, like CSI or whatever, but for the paranormal. As I say it out loud, there's this voice in my head who's a right dick who's like, oh, that's never been done before. But still, we're talking about games, so there we go. So Blackwell series. I've got Tex Murphy. Same kind. You can kind of see where I'm going. I'm trying to pick characters.
Wait, hang on a second. Something just occurred to me.
What's that?
A Blackwell movie. Would that just be The Sixth Sense?
Oh wow, you kind of blew my mind.
Which is not criticism of Blackwell. I'm just saying that I just sort of thought I was just trying to run through my head what that would look like, and it's like, oh, somebody who goes around talking to ghosts and helping their problems, and it's like, oh wait,
Yeah.
hang on, I think I've seen that before.
No, you're
Uh,
absolutely right. I forgot to name the female protagonist. I mean, it would only all you'd need to do is have her find out she was. All right, I shouldn't. Should I not say the spoiler? What's the expiration date on spoilers? Like, I want to say, I don't want to spoil things for you, but like, you had like 12 years to watch it. Come on.
but again, I say merely observationally. If anyone ever wants to make a Blackwell series as a TV show, do it, because just because one thing exists doesn't mean that it's never allowed to ever take any other shape or form again. Do Blackwell if you want to. That's great. I would absolutely support that.
And yeah, and the twist this time is that she's alive. Just
Damn it!
yeah.
Why you got it?
I'm sorry. I've got a good 40% me's just a right little ass. I apologize.
You spoiled The Sixth Sense and Blackwell.
Look, you lot have had like a decade to watch the movie. Maybe not so much the game, but anyway, let's stay on top of things, people. I got things to say, and you're really holding me up. And now I've talked so much without breathing that it's gonna be hard to edit that if you want to. So maybe just bleep it or something. But anyway,
this entire episode will be one long bleep. Ever since about halfway through, I wonder what it was that you said there that it's just thrown us off the rails for the entire rest of the episode.
Speaking of which, thanks for having me back again. I really appreciate it. I'm confused and baffled, but appreciative. All right, so yeah, I was saying my next pick will be Tex Murphy. Kind of just going for characters that again are interesting indefinitely. Where I mean, again, it's not a subject that's not been done, but that ain't me job, right? You didn't say like let's come up with something no one's ever done before. That's I'd probably have a whole different role in life if I was good at that whole lot, which I'm not. But Tex Murphy, gaming wise for us gamers, would be cool to see him as our choice of a weekly detective kind of show. Love Tex. So there's that. I've got Quest for Glory, the series. Again, it could also be a movie adaptation. I decided to pick television just because, I felt like it's something that could be interesting, like a high fantasy show. There's this voice inside me like Rick's going to mention Game of Thrones right now.
That was incredibly prescient of you.
Now you're making me Google words I don't know. Thank you.
I'm not sure if I used that correctly. I'm just saying.
I wouldn't know either way, but
I was actually just waiting for you to say something just slightly else to make me jump in with Game of Thrones, but then you never actually. You called me before I had the opportunity.
So I think Ryan Seacrested you. You gotta make fun of yourself before the person has a chance to.
Right.
Speaking of really outdated statements to make. Anyway, wonder if that man's alive. So Quest for Glory, ain't got to say much about it. I think it'd be a good TV show. There we go. And then the last one is a bit more of like a honorable mention because it actually existed, which is the opposite of what I've been asked to do. I.e., hey, let's list off things that have been done before. But no, I just want to kind of shout out that Cinemax actually had a television series, a cartoon series done by Steve Purcell. I think it was more than one season, I believe, maybe even three. It was done really, really well. It kind of had that Ren and Stimpy type of animation. Just it was really fun, really good little series. You can hop on Amazon. Other sites are available to purchase that if you want to, because that's well worth it. And if it ain't been done before, I would have said it, but there we go. One other thing I want to say about Steve Purcell is kind of cool. Anyone out there who's got kids or just loves Pixar films, whatever, it's okay to like Toy Story if you ain't got kids. It's not creepy. It's not that creepy. It's a little creepy. No, it's fine.
No, it's not.
No, it's absolutely not. No, it's a dead straight face. I am sitting bolt upright with a dead straight face. It's really not. that made it worse, how much I re-analyzed it. But anyway, Toy Story That Time Forgot is the name of one of the two shorts that they did. It's about 40 minutes long. If you can get a hold of that, I know the iTunes copy, other stores are available. The iTunes copy is has the behind the scenes, the extended behind the scenes director's cut, whatever. And Steve Purcell features heavily as he was in charge of that entire project. So just for anyone out there that's a huge LucasArts fan, man that created Sam and Max, worked on Indiana Jones and Last Crusade, countless other LucasArts games. I thought it was really cool. It took me by surprise. I didn't know he created it. So at the end of the film, when the making of popped up and Steve Purcell was 90% of it, I was just chuffed to bits. It was lovely to see him, the man, the myth, the legend, whatever. So anyway, just a recommendation for you lot. And I am getting to the end here. I need to be, because my water's ran out and it's getting a bit dried up. But this one's a bit odd. I decided to pick a game for that should be like a sporting event. And for like a sporting event, and I decided to go with the old, I believe it was Sega Genesis or maybe Master System. It don't matter. I decided to go with Road Rash.
Okay, I've actually never played that one. I don't even know about that one. I think I've heard the name of kicking around here and there, but I couldn't tell you even what genre it is, other than I assume it has something to do with a road.
And rashes, yeah, like go see a doctor.
Are there rashes? Are there rashes in the game?
Yeah, you're a very promiscuous character, and I'll leave it there.
So it's cars.
No, it's actually motorcycles, super bikes, if you will. And the basis of the game is, you're basically moving in a straight line, and it's like this group of outlaws that are racing each other for money, but they're also, just beating the hell out of each other at the same time. Mm-hmm. Baseball bats and chains and all kinds of just, horribleness, which is great.
Sorry, and, just to cut you off for 1 second, just because I just kind of something just reminded me of something which is completely way off topic. So I'll probably cut this out and maybe release it for later. But it's funny because I mentioned Cars, not so much as like, are there cars in it, but because I was actually mentioning the Pixar movie Cars, because it's actually kind of funny. There's one little innuendo that occurs, which I'm not sure a lot of people picked up on until it was like, mentioned on a few lists of, innuendos in kids movies and shows. And there's a moment where the lead, I guess it's a lead actor. I haven't actually seen him myself except for this one scene. He's like some hot shot, some celebrity. All the female cars or whatever like him a lot. And as he walks by, a couple of female cars, however that works, call over to him, and then they flash him their headlights.
Oh my god! Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of undeniable. Right?
Yeah. It's pretty. Yeah, if you know what they're talking about, that's it. You should look that up, because it's actually really. I haven't even seen the movie, so I don't know if it would have actually gone over my head at the time of watching it or not. But when you see that scene, it's like, oh wow, they actually just did that.
Wow, that's really cheeky. Yeah, it's hard to play it off. Like a lot of times, there's obviously the chock full of innuendos, but a lot of times it's played off in a. In a sense where like it could work two ways. I can't really see a way to wiggle out of what that means.
There's no second interpretation of that.
Right, exactly. That's brilliant.
Anyway, so but yeah, so that I just wanted to point that out. So I'm probably going to edit this out. Maybe, I don't know. This might see the light of day, but whatever.
I wouldn't. I believe in it. It's on theme too. I was just talking about Pixar extras, so why not? Oh. So I'll give it a space here in case I won't keep that. So yeah, Road Rash is done on super bikes that bludgeon each other, and I thought it'd be a good like real life sporting event, because I know. All right, I won't speak for you lot out there because that's not fair. But I'm a bit of an animal. Like my favorite. I'm not really a sports person at all, but I'm obsessed with and I love MotoGP, which is motorcycle road racing. They hit like 220 miles an hour, dragging knees and elbows, and I like it because I had to look myself in the mirror and be like, you only really like this because you need people's lives to be on the line for your entertainment. And that's, something for therapists probably to talk about, but it basically reminds me of like, the Roman Colosseum. Like I ain't evolved that far from them lot, with the thumbs up, thumbs down with the lions and all that bit. So again, I to entertain me in the sporting world, I need people's lives to be online. I need to be really dramatically brutal, really real, serious stuff. So I'm like, you know what, this is a bit too far because you knock somebody really hard with like a giant baseball bat on a super bike and they hit the ground. Not a good chance of surviving. But don't worry, I've also worked that bit out. We're just gonna pick all the like horrible criminals. Like when I say that, I mean like pedophiles, rapists, like the worst of the worst, and have them go at it for entertainment. And the one that wins is told that they'll get to be set free, but they ain't. And and that's how we do it. And yeah, so that was kind of my thoughts on that. What do you think?
So you're adapting Fortnite now.
Ah, thank God I don't know what that means.
No, I know it is different. You're basically mashing the two together or I don't know. I never played Road Rash. I don't know what that's like. I don't know if it is sort of like everyone for themselves until there's one left. But
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Or
okay. So then if we can leave Fortnite out of this, and all of the better. But it's just there's a popularity of battle royale style games nowadays, where everyone's just sort of thrown into. Have you seen the movie Battle Royale?
No, I ain't.
Oh, it's great. It's basically just throw all these high school kids onto an island and tell them to kill each other until there's only one left.
Oh, that's awesome. See, let's make that real. Why's it got to be a film?
But no, it sounds weird to say it like that, but it is actually like my favorite action movie of all time. It's actually really well done.
All right. Well, now that you said of all time, I'm definitely going to watch it. I'm like smack it out of things to watch right now. So I'm glad you said that. I'll check it out tonight. Yeah. So yeah, that's. I think that'd be a good sporting event. There's a state I just learned about recently, even though I've been in America for a while, but I just learned about a state called Kansas, which is. Which is apparently, first of all, it exists, and second of all, it's like 98% corn. So they can have it there. I mean, there's like nothing going on. Worst case scenario, they wreck a few yards of corn, and that's that's it. You gotta buy a bit of dog food. I don't know. So yeah. Anyway, we're gonna have that done with horrible people in Kansas, and yeah, battle to the death like Roman style.
On
I feel
motorbikes.
like such a bad person. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
On
Through corn.
superbikes. Yeah, exactly. And in the game, police are involved, but I'm not going to make mention of that because I don't support police brutality and all that. I got jokes for most things, but I got to leave that one alone. I got a few police mates and all that. I do like NWA at the same time, so it's a very conflicting emotion.
Yeah.
that was.
I support your fondness for NWA. I'm just like this is just going one after another. This is just not ending.
I love it. I was just going to point out that is the sound of Rick's disappointment. That's the sound of a man pinching the bridge of his nose.
And not, just so people don't get the wrong idea, the reason this disappointment of me is that we have now, before editing, we have been recording for about 50 minutes now.
Oh my God! Really?
And yeah. So every time we stack on and keep piling on, and granted, a lot of that is my fault because I keep going on to these huge diversions and tangents that I am ultimately editing out and might one day release to patrons or something like that. By the way, we have a Patreon.
That's proper marketing.
But seriously, this is only your half. And this is why we really need to split this into two, because it's only your half, and we're pushing an hour of recording time right now.
Dear God. It's like a beautiful first date, mate. I felt it was like 15 minutes. That's how much I enjoy your company. Um, all right. I'll speed it up. I've actually literally only got like three left.
All right, go
Three,
for it.
3 or 10,
I will
something
try
like that.
not to interrupt anymore.
No, it's good. We got to have the banter. No one wants to hear me just go on and on. Right, got the sporting event out of the way. Next up is books. And actually, I'm just going to scratch that because it turns out that most of the games that at least I wanted to list are already books. Gabriel Knight, The Dig, even King's Quest has a bunch of different side stories. So never mind that. You could edit that out if you like. Yeah. Regrouping. Uh, I did this last time too. I put a big X next to it and then continued to read it. What the fuck is wrong with me? All right. All right. So let me adjust my not necktie that I'm not wearing. Sit bolt upright and get this done. For my one of my final two subjects, I've got board games, and I ain't gonna go on and on about this one. I just put Telltale, all of the Telltale. You could pick one if you want for conversation's sake. I don't know, Wolf Amongst Us, whatever. But Telltale, the way they lay their games out is very just, you make a decision and either this happens or that happens. It's got that choose your own mystery type of vibe. And I felt that that might be kind of a cool board game premise where say you're playing, Wolf Amongst Us and probably card based, I suppose, and you pick a card and decide, whether to do the right thing or not, etc. So there we go. Telltale Games, rest in peace, but do a board game if you get back together. Actually, don't do that. Finish that Stranger Things game. I was really looking forward to that, and you lot had to muck it up and go out of business. Anyway, so when I see
We have made no ground here.
yeah, the last 10 minutes is complete rubbish. And that's being generous, saying 10 minutes. It could arguably be 50. For my final for my final subject, final thing I'm going to say before I drink a lot of water and breathe for a little bit, because I ain't been doing much of that through this episode, is like are you familiar with like dinner mystery murders?
Yes,
Or I
I was
actually
in one.
Were you really?
As a high school play. It was we one year did a for a change. Our high school did a murder mystery dinner, and I was the victim.
Oh, that's so cool. Plus, you were the victim. I mean, not because I want to see you off or nothing.
No,
but that's
if I will definitely say anytime that there is, I don't really consider myself an actor. I did a little bit of acting here and there. I don't really consider myself an actor as such, though. If I was ever to go into it, or if I was ever to be involved in anything, I would definitely want to be a character that dies. I think dying is like awesome in an acting sense, not like you know.
not.
I just mean like I'm always about playing characters that have a death scene.
You really separate yourself from me by clarifying as an actor after I went on about road rash and real people being involved. So yeah, dinner mystery murder. I actually googled before the episode to see if there was like a neater, more palatable way of saying it, and there really ain't. But I went to one in I don't know, Disneyland, Florida. Is that a place? Like Orlando? That's it. In Orlando, Florida, and it was really really fun. So for my dinner mystery murder, I picked and God, here it comes, because
Did you realize that you said those words in exactly the opposite order that they're supposed to be said?
No, did I go a bit dyslexic on you?
You said dinner mystery murder.
Oh my God, I'm starting to think I got a little bit of that, because I always say heat seater instead of seat heater in my car. So I think I've got some issues with it. but I'm kind of saying here we go, because I've already been preemptively called out for bringing this up, and I dodged it earlier, went light on my feet like Muhammad Ali, but this time I can't dodge it. It's Dagger von Monroe. It is. Nice. I'm sorry.
No, that's good. That's good.
And I don't really know why I picked that over Bequest. I guess being trapped in a house has been done, quite a bit before in lots of mediums. So I thought trapped in a museum. I mean, that Ben Stiller bloke did a few of them, but that's all I could think of. So that's why I chose Dagger von Monroe. So I thought that'd make a fun mystery murder kind of party dinner,
Okay, cool.
something.
Nice.
So if you've got like 3 more hours, we could do your half.
I think we are going to save that for part 2 of our adaptations episode, which I did not realize was going to be going into a part 2, but here we are. So it turns out that we have a lot to talk about when it comes to things that we want to turn into other things. And that's great. That gives me one less thing to think about for next week.
Beautiful. Yeah, exactly. We don't have to come up with something 5 minutes before the show. Not that we do that because we're super professional.
Well, I guess we don't need a proper ending because we are just going to pick up right where we left off next time. Pretty much exactly. So I think all we'll say for now is check out our Patreon, www.patreon.com/ClassicGamersGuild.
And all that money is going to go to medication for Rick for putting up with me. And or caffeine so he can edit this.
I don't need medication when I talk to you because my mind just goes so numb.
I
need you more in my life to medicate me from other things.
So you ain't thinking about nothing serious when, except for like, oh my god, you got me check this for what I'm going to edit. Yeah, no, it's actually quite a compliment, to be honest. But no, yeah, it's been a great show. I'm really looking forward to your half. I promise to behave, and then, unless you're at a dinner mystery party or doing a real road rash, don't do a murder.